If you haven't yet, please watch the first part to this video. That'll give you the context to why I'm doing this, mostly because I just wanted to. But yeah, you can see for yourself all the villagers that didn't make it into this one. So with that being said, we're getting straight into it, starting with number 200, working our way down, and let's begin. Flip is pretty cute, but one thing I wish that were different about him is his eyebrows. For some reason, they just don't fit everything else. Even though I like Butch, I will say I definitely have my preferences for more serious looking villagers, so sorry dude. I love the fur patterns on Sky, but for some reason I'm just not digging the eyes. Hey, that rhymes. I'm so torn between calling Apple adorable or calling her a mediocre attempt at being adorable. Still a nice design, though I'm not sure why they went with the name Apple. While I'm a bit on edge about Avery's eyes, I will say I absolutely love the patterns on his feathers. They really help him to stand out above the rest. Axel is pretty charming, and I love his smile. Honestly, don't have anything else to add about him. Claude is definitely high up here because of the cool demeanor his appearance radiates. But I do wonder what's going on with the little loop on his forehead. Is that supposed to be hair? I don't know. Murphy, as grumpy as he looks, still gets a leg up because I think he still looks pretty cool. It's like the cub version of Dobby, though I very much prefer Dobby over Murphy. Rod is pretty cute, and I'm assuming the cap on his head is supposed to be meaning he's a swimmer or a pirate. Hey, that's definitely a bonus for how good Rod is, so good on you, Rod. Hey, we got another superhero in the house. Kit Kat, as average as his facial features are, definitely gets a leg up in the rankings for his awesome default outfit. And the helmet. The helmet's cool. Kit has a very cool look to him. I feel like I could sit down and share a coffee with him. Tybalt's fur patterns almost make him look like a sports team mascot. And although I do wonder why he's always so grumpy, he's still pretty cool. I like Caesar. I think he has a nice professional look to him, and I do appreciate that they didn't make his lips too thick like some of the other gorillas in this game. Tom is a pretty cool villager, and he's obviously one I wouldn't mind having around, but I do wonder, what would he look like with a nose? Do you think that would improve his appearance? I don't know. Portia has a really nice, charming look to her. I actually think she could do without the eyebrows, but that's just me. Even then, she's still great. Annalise is also really nice. I like the bright pink colors on the back of her neck, and I think it helps her stand out as one of the better horses. Eloise is super cute. I know some people don't like the bangs on her head, and although I do wish they gave her a full head of hair, I still really like her. You know, I actually like Leopold a lot. I think his more old-fashioned look is a nice change to what we normally see. It's especially an improvement compared to some of the other lions we've seen, like, I don't know, Rory. Nan is also pretty cute. There aren't too many villagers with black fur, and hey, Nan definitely pulls it off well. Opal looks pretty cool. I like the lashes and the bangs. They go really well together. Not too sure what else to say. Mitzi is another super adorable one. Admittedly, I don't find her as adorable as some other cats in this game, but hey, she's still up there. Hey, another Sanrio villager. Admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of Chelsea's hair and the way it curves on the sides, but that's not much of a loss for her, so good for you. Oh my god, Snake is awesome. That face is hilarious, and the fact that it looks so out of place to his whole ninja aesthetic somehow makes it even better. Walker is another very average looking villager, but I think he's pretty cute regardless. This is going to get a lot of flack, but you know what? I like Beardo. I know the name doesn't make sense because he doesn't have a beard, but I think his fancier and, dare I say, hairier appearance is a nice switch up from the normally super cute and fuzzy critters in Animal Crossing. Tex nails the smug look better than most villagers. Also, seeing his default outfit reminds me of the stereotypical college cool kid. Normally that'd be a downfall, but for Tex, it works. I think Coach looks pretty darn cool. He's not the friendliest looking villager, but his beard looks much less unappealing than some of the attempts of a stubble we've previously seen. I wasn't too sure about Dora because of her similarities to Samson, but for some reason I like Dora way more. I don't know, maybe it's the mouth. Yeah, let's go with that. Pecan is pretty cool. Very fashionable appearance, though again, I do have preferences for my choice of fashionable villagers, but Pecan is high up there. From what I've seen, Punchy is pretty popular. Although he's not the best cat for me, he's still great. I like how the eyelids line up with his fur pattern. I really like Rio's colorful appearance. I think the stars on her cheeks really help her to stand out as a great villager. I think Celia's really nice. The green edges are certainly a great change to what one might think would go on an eagle. She's just really lovely. I've seen Paula get a bad rep for some reason, maybe because she looks like a hippie, but I think that's really charming. And if that's what they were going for, then hey, good on them. Annalisa is a very beautiful Asian-themed villager. Personally, I think she would make an even better geisha than Greta. Zal is another one that nails the smug look with the eyes. I also love his whole zigzag horns and unique fur patterns. Claudia is another very beautiful looking villager. Something that really can't be said for most of the tiger villagers. Her pink fur and very distinct patterns are honestly very awesome. Scoot is adorable, even if it looks like he has underwear on his head. I know he's not everyone's cup of tea, but I like him. Mint is another uber adorable villager. Her tail patterns almost look like a mint candy, and I think that really emphasizes the whole mint theme surrounding her. I've said mint way too many times now. Another superhero villager! Agent S obviously gets a plus for that, and because her face is also pretty cute. But I do wish they gave her a nose. Or maybe she does have a nose and I just can't see it through the visor. I don't know. Cleo's eyes are so cute. I don't really know what else to say other than that, but they definitely help her stand out as one of my favorites. Lionel is another villager that has a very elegant look to him, and while it may not be the most original idea, he still made it work. Lobo's fur and eyes kind of make it look like he'd glow in the dark. He already looks cool enough on his own. That little tidbit makes me like him even more. I've seen Cobb get some flack, maybe because he looks super nerdy, but for him, it surprisingly works. I like Cobb. For Ike, the orange patterns around his eyes are really awesome, though I do wish his eyes were slightly smaller and further away from each other. Still, he's cool. Pinky looks pretty normal, but I'll be darned, she's super cute. I think the little bit of hair on her forehead is actually not that bad of an addition. Vesta is another very average looking villager, but I'll be darned, I like how basic her face looks in contrast to everything else. Broccolo is super cute, but I do wonder what on earth they were thinking giving him that name. Broccolo? Really? One of the foreign versions of the game named him Steven, so I just call him Steven. Much more fitting in my opinion. Annabelle is definitely one of the best anteaters in this game. I love her bright colors, I love her eyes, but I especially love the whole brick patterns on the back of her. I know anteaters get a bad rep, but hey, Annabelle gets a pass. Stinky's rustler aesthetic is awesome in and of itself, but the fact his mask looks like underwear is freaking hilarious. Vic is obviously the best bull in the game. The fact that he's a Viking is cool enough, but his fur colors are honestly even cooler. It makes him look like he has a gigantic beard covering most of his face, and that's obviously a great fit for him. I originally had Mary in the top 30, but she has a very weird mouth, and that really brings her down for me, which is a shame because she's otherwise super cute. Some people might not like Kurt's grumpy look, but I love it. I don't know about you, but the bandage on his head really adds to his character. At first I found Sherry a little unsettling, perhaps because of the eyes, but she also grew on me, and it's actually kind of cute. Not my first choice for a monkey villager, but she's still up there. Ursula is very friendly looking, and I love her for that. I love her freckles, I love her hair, I just think that she's very lovely overall. Antonio is another average looking villager, but his dotted eyes pair surprisingly well with everything else. He's apparently one of the more well-liked anteaters, and hey, I can totally see why. Teddy has very thick eyes and eyebrows, but can't help but adore him anyway. He looks surprisingly friendly amidst what normally doesn't look too friendly, and that's honestly very cool. Okay, Boomer, I see what's going up with you. Similar to Teddy, Boomer has the thick eyes and eyebrows, which is why they're right next to each other here, but you know what? Boomer's pilot cap really gives him the edge here, in my opinion. I've seen Serrano get a bad rep, but I like him. I think that despite the angry look and, you know, the controversial snout that all the anteaters have, Serrano looks so cool regardless that I can't help but rank him this high. Yuka is the only koala villager, I think, with a considerably elegant look to her, and I think she wears it very well. Certainly looks better than most of the other koalas. Margie is one of the most creative designs I've seen in this game. Her beautiful eyes, multicolored hands, and her quote-unquote hair make for an amazing combination. So, yeah, she's definitely up there. Ellie is super cute. I know she has a very average look, but I can't help myself. I mean, look at those eyes! She's so adorable! I've had a soft spot for Cranston because he was one of my first villagers, and I still have a soft spot for Cranston because of how he's uber adorable. I mean, he's a crane for crying out loud. That's so cool. I've questioned myself why Puddles is so low while Lily is so high, since they're so similar in a sense, but I realized that's because Lily's eyes are far more fitting, and she has a better choice of colors and patterns. So, yeah. Tasha is another one that doesn't exactly look the friendliest, but her fur patterns are just so cool. Plus, the orange eyes and red button nose are a surprisingly great fit for her amidst all the blue. Cherie's not the friendliest looking villager, but I'll be darned, she's still very cute. I'm not too sure what else to say for her, so I'll just say, nice hair as well, Cherie. Sid is one of the newest villagers, and he looks so cool. You don't see any other elephant villagers rocking this punk look as good as Sid. Elmer has the eyes that make him look very laid back, and that just makes him look even more cuter than he already could be. Hans is considered one of the best gorillas in the game, and I can totally see why. I'm super happy with the whole Yeti look, but I'm also very thankful that he doesn't have this super ugly lips like many of the gorillas do. Obviously, the fact that Boone is designed to look like a mandrill is a huge plus, but I think the execution of it, making him look like he belongs on a totem pole, is honestly an even huger plus. Peanut is already cute on her own, but the stripe on her head really helps her to stand out. I love that about her. I'm glad Chadwick got to return to the game after so long, because he's such a dork, and I mean that in a nice way. He's adorkable, I guess you could say. Not sure about the belly button though. Frigga and Gwen are almost tied here because of how similar they look. I think Gwen just barely gets the edge because I think she has nicer eyes. It's not a huge difference, but they're still both awesome. I love Boris. I love his fangs, his dark blue hair, his angry eyes. He may not exactly be the friendliest looking villager, but he's so cool that he gets a boost in the rankings. Poppy looks very basic, especially with the beady eyes, but he's so charming that I can't help but rank him this high. Also, I really like how he's supposed to be, what's it called, a Z-Donk, I think it's called, and his ears are blue on the inside. That's nice. Dizzy is about as simple as it gets, but he's so absolutely adorable that you can't help but rank him this high. That smile is infectious, I swear. Etzwell is another Sanrio villager, and she gets a huge plus for the little dots on her wool. She's a super cute one as well. I think you're starting to see a pattern here. Eugene rocks. His default shades and resemblance to a greaser are something I didn't imagine would fit for a koala villager, but wow, Eugene proved me wrong. Lolly's stripes and unique looking eyes are both very creative and very cute, which is the best possible combination of compliments. Kitty is another very elegant and beautiful villager. Still, nothing compared to Olivia though. I love the little triangles pointing out of Bunny's eyes. I think they really help her stand out and help her become one of my favorites. Also her blush marks. Buzz looks really cool, but what helps him are the white edges around his feathers. I think that was a great choice for someone like Buzz. Shino is yet another relatively new villager, and she's definitely one of the best Japanese-themed villagers in the game. The light fur contrasted by her red horns are honestly a great combo. Not so sure about the eyebrows though, but hey, I can look past that. Bianca is amazing just on the basis of her resemblance to a snow leopard, but I can't put her any higher than this because I just wish her nose were a little closer to the middle of her snout. I wasn't so sure about the mask on Victoria's face, but it surprisingly fits her. Overall, she's very nice. Winnie definitely gets a leg up over Victoria because of the star on her head. She looks like she'd be great friends with anyone, and that's definitely someone I'd want on my island. I wasn't so sure about Hopkins at first, but he's seriously grown on me, especially after seeing the little plug on his back. It makes you wonder if he actually is a rabbit. Freya is a very creative looking villager, and I absolutely love the light blue shading on top of her eyes. Oh yeah, her eyes! They're very lovely as well. I can't really put my finger on why I love Jeremiah so much, but he's great. His eyes look like Kermit's, so maybe that's what gives him a leg up in the rankings, but I also like the blue. Overall, he's great. I can't help but look at Genji and see a rabbit-shaped chocolate candy. Not a complaint though, because he's still an awesome villager. Ed looks very cool with his yellow hair covering his right eye along with the light blue fur and pink eyelids. Very solid villager. Bangle is so cute. I will say the marking on the top of her head almost makes her look like a tiger crossed over with a football, but who says that can't work as a design? It sure worked for Bangle, so hey. Midge has very similar eyes to Lolly, but I personally prefer Midge over Lolly because I love the little loops on her cheeks. She's very nice. Gale is obviously the best alligator villager in this game. Her pink colors and lovely eyes are one thing, but the heart in the middle of her face is honestly a great addition. I know I'm not the first to say that I thought Sasha was a girl, but hey, he's still super cute regardless. I don't even mind the little bangs on his head, they kind of add to his beauty. Nox and Sterling are two more villagers that are very similar in design and concept, and although I feel like Sterling barely gets the edge over Nox, I'd still prefer them to be together, so that they can seek the Holy Grail together. Quinn is yet another new addition to the game, and yet another very fashionable villager. I love her purple hair and blue eyes. She's overall very awesome. I love Flo's punk rock appearance. She wears it better than pretty much anyone else could possibly wear it. Even better than Sid. Willow is another very cute villager. I love the bright yellow wool, but I also love the pink horns and hands. Definitely one of the best sheep villagers. Top 100, baby, let's do this. Miranda is a very lovely looking duck with lovely looking pink colors. I'm especially glad she has the full head of hair and not just the bangs. Hugh is awesome. The fact that his eyes and his eyebrows are multicolored is honestly a really cool choice. The yellow snout I'm not so sure about though, but hey, whatever. I love Pashmina. I can't fully put into words why I love this design so much, but I do. One thing I can put into words is that her light blue horns are quite a unique look, and they help prevent her from being just another super average looking villager. Francine and Chrissy are sisters, and naturally they're pretty similar. I think Chrissy just barely edges out Francine only because of her eyes, but they're still a great pair. Kyle is another villager that nails the smug look. I will say I'm not too sure about the bags over his eyes, but hey, it's hardly noticeable. Shavra is another uber cute villager, with her sparkling eyes, pretty freckles, and happy little smile. Very ideal villager to have around. Faith is yet another one that was brought back after years of being absent, and I'm very glad that she's back. The way her orange fur is designed to make it look like she's almost wearing a full bodysuit, I genuinely like that about her. I wasn't too sure about Aurora and her dead eyes and straightforward appearance, but I've grown to really like her. I don't quite know why I love her look so much, but it gets cuter the more I look at her. Gaston is awesome. That mustache, plus the tomato nose, plus the unibrow. I genuinely love this combination. Nobody can wear it better than Gaston. Whenever I see the stripes on Kevin's head, I can't help but think of him as some sort of tiger-pig crossover. Frankly, it works very well for me, and that's why I rank Kevin so high. Bud looks super chill. He looks like he'd take me on the best road trip ever and give me great life advice along the way. Surf's up, bud. Azalea is probably the best of the 8 villagers who returned in the 2.0 update. I love the light blue, but I especially love the flower on her snout and the bag for head. Very lovely design, and I'm so sad you had to leave my island. Is there anyone that compares to the fanciness of Chops? I mean, probably, but I do love this look anyway. So much personality oozes from this look alone, and that's not something that can be easily said about many of these villagers. Melba is so cute. I swear. Koalas can be tough to love in this game because of their gigantic noses, but for Melba, I can easily look past this because of her cuteness. Bam! It's Bam! I love the bright blue colors on Bam! I gotta stop doing that. Anyways, I can't really explain it, but they go perfectly with his jock personality. Very lovely design overall. Okay, one more. Bam! Apparently Frank is very disliked by many fans, and I don't get why. He has some super creative colors and patterns going on for him, and the eyebrows don't make him look as unfriendly as many other cranky villagers. I have to say, I really like Frank. Vivian looks pretty similar to Kyle in many ways, though I understand she was made before him. I think Viv definitely has the edge over Kyle because she has much more appealing eyes. I know that sounds superficial, but hey, they're both still awesome. Renee, or Renee, as I like to say, is a super lovely villager that debuted in New Horizons. Her lovely fur color and even lovelier eyes are one thing, but she's even better for those earrings she wears at all times. Gloria is another very fashionable villager, and she's wonderful. The blue eyeshadow works very well with her hair, plus I'm grateful she has a full head of hair. That was great. Bo is super cute with his drowsy eyes, but what I think I like about him most are how much color there is in the inside of his ears. That's just a nice detail. I love Cousteau. I love his happy little smile, his funny mustache, and I don't mind that his skin looks like he's a block of cheese. It works for him. It's very fitting that this little hamster is named Clay, since he has a design very reminiscent of an ancient clay figure. It definitely makes him one of the most creative villagers in the game, so good on you, Clay. I love Colton's elegant look. He has really charming eyes, a full head of hair, and the cutest little blush marks that wrap it all together perfectly. Well, I'm sure many people have pointed out how adorable Cookie is. Hey, why not add to that list of people? Cookie is adorable. She looks like the friendliest little doggy this game has ever seen. Oh, maybe behind Isabelle. I love the little purple shading around Fang's eyes. They help him go from average to wonderful. Blair is really nice looking, and I think the white stripes on her head also add to how great she is, so she's definitely high up. How can I not compliment Sprocket? Beyond being just another robot villager, Sprocket just looks incredible overall with how he's designed. I love the green and the glowing blue eyes. I think that's a great combo. Roald is the ultimate derp villager. I mean, look at that hilariously adorable face. It's no wonder he became a meme. I love Grizzly's look. The thick eyebrows are very fitting for his personality, and his mouth, as standard as it looks, I find myself liking a lot. I think it really ties everything together and makes him a lot friendlier than other cranky villagers. Wolfgang looks super cool. Between him and similar villagers like Kyle and Lobo, I'd probably take Wolfgang over the lot. I think it's obvious why Lucha is so high, and it's because he's a luchador, and he wears it amazingly. Please come back to my island, Lucha. I miss you. Apollo is awesome. Even if he's a pretty standard eagle design, it's still done very well, and it's no wonder he's one of the most well-liked villagers. Roscoe is great with his black fur and big red eyes. It makes him one of the coolest looking horse villagers, if not one of the coolest villagers overall. Also, I like his hair. Hornsby is surprisingly appealing. His big eyes and simple blue skin is a great combo. It certainly helps him stand out as one of the better rhino villagers. Audie is such a beautiful villager. I love the fact that she resembles a fox, but I also love her blue eyes and sunglasses she wears above her head at all times. Audie is amazing. Nana is so adorable, I swear. She has such a cute smile and those little beady eyes, they're just so lovable. One of the best monkey villagers in the game by far. Dobie is a wonderfully designed character. While most villagers' appearances have them looking like they're at least of a relatively younger age, the fact that Dobie is clearly an elder is a great change to what we're normally used to. Ken looks so cool. He almost looks like a ninja, and that factor easily makes him the best chicken villager in this game. Poppy is yet another uber adorable villager. What I've said about all the other adorable villagers can easily be applied here, so yeah, I'm getting really repetitive here, I'm sorry. Megan is another new villager, and she looks great. The big oval eyes, happy little smile, and cute purple fur are all great. They definitely did Megan very well here. Marlowe is another new one, and he's another awesome one. He has a resemblance to a film noir villain, which would explain why his name possibly references Marlon Brando, and it's a great switch up from the other hamsters. Klaus's obvious inspiration from ancient Rome is amazing. He nails the smug look perfectly, and it's overall a great execution. Whitney looks very beautiful. Her snow-colored fur is the main factor here, but of course, her eyes are also very lovely. I've seen that Molly is very popular, and it's easy to see why. Unlike Freckles, her eyes aren't too far away from each other, and make her really adorable to look at. I'll always adore Wendy. She has this really cute buck tooth and equally as cute squinty eyes. There are two other sheep that have the same light blue wool, Bobber and Cashmere, but Wendy wears it the best out of the three. How can you not love Chatter? He's a mouse that looks like a block of cheese. The stick eyes are surprisingly good fit for this concept, and the green nose isn't the worst choice, though I would have preferred black. Hey, he's still awesome. Marina is so cute. She has such charming eyes, blush marks, and little bangs. She would be the best octopus villager if not for the 2.0 update adding one more. Marty is another Sanrio villager, and he looks great. Not super cute like others, but his straightforward appearance has many great elements to it that work together very well. Judy is one of the most popular villagers, and it's not hard to see why. She has those sparkling eyes that make her look like an anime girl, and I have to say, she looks even cuter when she's mad. Gala is my favorite pig villager, not just because of her cute eyes, but also because of that lovely little flower crown she always wears. She has a great smile as well. I love the multicolored ears on Petrie, that and her default nerdy looking glasses. They're all great elements that give her so much personality beyond just a basic snooty personality. Elvis rocks. Even more so than Eugene. His scars and grumpy look are cool on their own, but what makes him even better is his royal themes in both his default clothes and his house. Yeah. Hail to the king! I may have a bias towards Savannah because we share a birthday, but she's still beautiful regardless. Just the fact that she's a zebra is already cool, but the eyes and the orange hair really helps her stand out as a wonderful choice to have on your island. Daisy on her own would be lower, but she just looks so adorable whenever she smiles. I also love that they gave her a unique eye shape rather than the standard dots for eyes. That really brings her up for me. DJ Jacques is in the house! I love the little green outlines on his eyes, but I also love his little beard. I say Jacques kind of looks like a stoner, and I like that. Lopez already looks really cool with his fur patterns and face that really matches the smug personality, but I really love the pink lines on his eyebrows. I think that's such a nice touch and really adds to his beauty. Blanche is a very lovely villager on her own, but what I really love about her is the Japanese theme they went with her. There are plenty of villagers that have a very similar theme, but Blanche pulls it off better than almost all of them. Some people may see Cephalobot as just a generic robot, but I think it was well past the time they made a robotic octopus villager. The theme fits very well with his mouth and the suckers on his tentacles, so overall, I really like Cephalobot. I can't tell you why I love Chief so much, but he looks so great. He has this arrogant look to him that I just can't help but admire. And it's really emphasized by the bright orange fur. Iona is incredible. Her starry design is enough to be desired on its own, but the fact that they made her glow in the dark as well, that makes her go from amazing to one of the best. Chai is so cute. Probably the best Sanrio themed villager in the game. The teacup on her head is so funny to look at, and she has such lovely blue colors and a delightful smile to make it all the more lovable. Tia is also an elephant villager with a tea theme surrounding her. I think I just barely prefer her over Chai. This simply because they made Tia's head a teapot, which looks absolutely amazing, and could only work with someone like Tia. Tangy probably would have gotten a high spot on my rankings anyway because of her citrus theme, but that little cute face and the little leaf on her head makes it even better. By far, one of the best cat villagers in the game, though there are plenty of great ones. Rosie is one of the most well-known villagers in the series, and it's not hard to see why. She has an adorable little smile, lovely unique eyes, just the most delightful looking rosy cheeks. She's just overall amazing. Mira is another superhero themed villager and by far the best of the lot. She has the cool looking eye mask that has the lashes coming out of them, as well as some lovely little blue eyes that does a good job of contrasting the rest of her colors. Never fear, Mira is here! When it comes to duck villagers, most people seem to agree that Ketchup is the best of them, and I fully agree. She has a head that makes her look like a tomato, very fitting for her name, plus these adorable little eyes that help her stand out as one of the best peppy villagers. Carmen's facial features, particularly her eyes, almost make her look like a me, and I generally mean that in a good way. But not only is she cute, but she also looks like candy, much like Genji. It's clear that Coco was designed to resemble a gyroid, and I'll be darned, they nailed it with her. She looks just as hollow and empty as most gyroids in the game do, and yet I can't help but want to know more about her. Coco's just so great. Oh my god, Rudy is so cute. The golden eyes are one thing, but the button red nose and charming little smile just adds to the level of cuteness Rudy possesses. Oh. Bruce is awesome. While it appears like he's not most people's favorite deer villager, he's still way up there for me. I love the blue, and I think he has these really charming eyes, along with the bright lines that split off on the top of his head. Just great stuff overall. Blue Bear is another somewhat standard looking villager, but I'll be darned, she gets away with it because of how perky and lovable she is. Gotta love the blue on Blue Bear. On another similar note, Sprinkle is also another extremely perky and lovable villager. And what do you know, they're both peppy villagers. Oh, I'm really starting to repeat myself here. Ah well. Tiansheng is without a doubt the best of the villagers added to the 2.0 update. His Chinese-inspired appearance is one thing, but the charming smile and delightful eyes help him stand out as by far the best monkey villager in the game. Sorry, Nana, but I'm definitely going for Tiansheng. Marshall is extremely popular in the Animal Crossing community, and it's very easy to see why. He has a snobbishness to his appearance that both fits his smug personality and is extremely cute. Good job, Marshall. I don't think it was a surprise that Pietro was going to be this high. His clown look is already a unique and well-executed idea, but what makes it even better is his rainbow-colored wool. Who else in this game can say they're as bright and colorful as Pietro? Pico is yet another Asian-themed villager, and by golly, she is one of the best. Her hair and ears are one thing, but her charming blue eyes really add to her loveliness. Definitely one of my favorites. June, as average as she looks, is once again so lovable that I can't help but rank her this high. I love the flower on her head, but I equally love that they gave her a full head of hair and not just bangs. Eric's winter theme and obvious inspiration from a moose were more than enough to get him a high spot on my rankings, but also his eyes are very delightful. Hopper's resemblance to the crested penguin would have been enough on its own, but the fact that they gave him a cranky personality and made his eyebrows as big as they are really sells it for him. Hopper is the best penguin villager by far. Diana's elegance via her eyes and blush marks is already a great quality of hers, but the patterns on her head and ears really help her become one of the best deer in the game. Static is probably the best cranky villager, just with the lightning bolt and cool eyes alone. But one thing I really appreciate is his purple fur. I think purple was a great choice for him, as it really helps contrast the green and yellow. I can't imagine Static looking better with any other color. If you want a villager that has earned the right to be smug, it's Julian. Him being a unicorn is awesome on its own, but his bright blue fur and lovely looking eyes help him stand out as one of the best villagers by far. What can I say about Bob that hasn't been said before? He's by far one of the most iconic villagers in the game. His somewhat pompous face and purple blotched fur helps him stand out as a surprisingly cute villager, and certainly one of the best cats in the game. I think it was fairly obvious that Meringue was going to be this high, just based on her dessert theme alone. And yeah, it's definitely something to be admired. Her strawberry horn, her cute eyes, and the icing on the top of her head are absolutely a great combination. I love Cherry's punk rock look. The black spot on her eye really sells it for me. But the unique looking eyelashes also help her tremendously. Also, I just noticed she has earrings, and that is extra cool. I bet Cherry and Eugene would put on a great show together. Stitches obviously gets a plus for his design, making him look like a patchwork stuffed animal. But above that, him having X's for eyes is probably my favorite aspect of his design. I just want to give him a bear hug right now. Fuchsia's bright neon colors really help her in becoming one of my all-time favorite villagers. But one thing that I especially love are her earrings. They add a lot of personality to her design. I know many people will say that Maple is a very average looking design, but I can't help it. She's one of the most adorable villagers in the entire game, and as you probably guessed by now, I love my dose of adorableness. Ribbot is the OG robot villager. His glowing eyes and door-like mouth are all great aspects, and the fact that they gave this robot aesthetic to a frog villager is especially cool. Not even Sprocket or Cephalobot nailed the robot look this well. Top 10, baby. Let's see who made it. Shep is definitely one of my favorites. I love how his hair covers his eyes, and I also love the white patch around his snout. That and his default denim vest give him a street life look that is overall incredible. I've seen a lot of people call Phoebe the best ostrich villager, and it's easy to see why. She's a phoenix, for crying out loud. Her hot colors are great on her own, but the fact that she has the blue outlines on her eyelashes and tail to contrast that works great. Phoebe is on fire! Olivia obviously has the elegant look to her that makes her a great villager with the charming eyes and the eyeliner, but I especially love how her limbs have the burgundy colored tips that are all different in length. That is a subtle yet excellent touch. Yeah, you knew Anko was going to be this high. Just the ancient Egyptian themes alone are enough to admire, but the execution with the headdress and the pharaoh-like facial features, it's all excellent. She's amazing, no doubt about it. Sherb is so cute, I swear. The icy blue fur is appealing on its own, but the eyes, the teardrop-shaped hair, and happy little smile are all just a great combo. Also, he looks so adorable when he's sleeping. Flora has a lot going for her that I just love. The bright pink colors, the heart shape on her face, and the beak shape that no one else has are all excellent details. And only Flora could pull that off. Easily one of my favorites. It's not hard to see why I put Lucky this high. I mean, he's a mommy dog, for crying out loud. And the single visible glowing eye is such a great touch, and it makes you wonder what's lying underneath all the bandages. I do wish they didn't change his default outfit though, but hey, Lucky's still amazing. Fauna is yet another villager that, despite being a pretty average looking character, is so cute that I just had to rank her this high. The blush marks and little lashes on her eyes make her all the more lovable, and she's easily my favorite deer villager in the entire game, no doubt about it. Raymond is the most popular villager in New Horizons, and while not my absolute favorite, is evidently very high up here on my list. The little bangs usually don't work, but for Raymond, he pulls it off. Plus, the duotone eyes and the office aesthetic are a really unique touch that really suits someone like him. And with that being said, we got into 412 villagers, but there's only one that takes the spot for my absolute number one favorite villager in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Without a doubt, my number one favorite is Julia. Julia is my absolute favorite villager, without a shadow of a doubt. The cute and sparkling eyes, the bright colorful tail, the great color patterns on her head, plus just the fact that she's a peafowl is awesome. There's also speculation she might be transgender, and while I don't think that's the case, if it is, good for her. I don't think there's any other villager I'd want to have on my island more than Julia. And that's it. Wow, that was a lot to go through, but hey, we made it. If you managed to stick around up until this point, congrats. Thanks for putting up with me for all this time, and again, I'm sorry if I got repetitive at times. There's only so many ways you can make the same point, and I certainly had very similar reasons for why I liked certain villagers over others. At the end of the day, this is just my opinion, and I imagine you likely have very different opinions from mine on many of these villagers. Regardless of how we all feel, Animal Crossing is a pretty harmless franchise about catching fish and making friends. So, I really hope I didn't come off as too harsh on some of these guys. Thanks for watching, and if you want more content like this, let me know in the comments. I do struggle with video ideas sometimes, so it helps to get input from people who care. And you know what? I'll close this off with one more thought about New Horizons. It's a great game, although it does feel kind of incomplete in some areas, but even with all the improvements they could make, I don't think I'll truly be satisfied until they bring back the one villager that should have returned years ago, and that is Nosegay. See you in the next one.